Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the power supply to the motherboard itself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach the SATA cords from the hard drive and the DVD drive to the actual motherboard as well. So let's start with the power supply. Now the power supply cords are right here. They're the ones in the netting here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get all these other cords out of the way right now, which actually are from the case. We'll connect those in a bit. But we're going to run these cords out the back and back up through. So we're going to take advantage of the cord management system. So what I'm going to do is I hope I can get this on the screen here. Okay. There's a hole back here, so we're going to feed both of these through that hole. First one through. Now we just got to get the second one through. Alright, let's just make sure that that looks alright. Okay. Now on the other side, you see them, they've come through here. Now both of these are going to have to come back up through here, so we're going to put them through here. And then we're going to turn this around again. And let's put it back down this way so we can see it. Now this cord, the larger of the two, is going to be plugged in here. I don't know if you can see it on the... It's right behind the... Let me turn it this way so you can see things better here. Okay, this first connector is going to go in like this. Now I got to keep these together. There we go. And just plugs right in, no problem. The only issue with this is actually maneuvering this thick cord around. Other than that, it's going to be an easy plug-in. Just slips in, and that is the first step of this, to plug this into the motherboard. It's nice and snug in there. Alright, and the second cord is going to be plugged into here, over here. So what we need to do is I just pulled this little cover off of here because we have the 8-pin plug, and this I believe was a 24-pin. Let's feed it under here, and I don't know if you can see it here. This 8-pin cord is going to plug in over here. Let me move the camera up a little bit so you can see it. It's going to plug in right there. So let's just make sure we have all the things going in the right direction, and just slide it in. And there we go. Alright, there we go. Now we have the power supply connected to the motherboard. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to attach these SATA cords from the hard drive to the motherboard and from the DVD drive to the motherboard. Now, it's going to be difficult to see this, but the SATA ports on the motherboard are under the graphics card. So it's these red ports here. There are 6 of them there. As I said before, this is my first PC build. So I'm making a couple mistakes here. Not major mistakes, but I'm going to have to take the graphics card out again. It's a little snug here with the hard drive, so I want my space to put the power connectors in. I'm going to unscrew it here from the expansion slot area. There we go. Put it off to the side. Okay, so what we're going to do is attach the SATA cables to the motherboard now for the DVD drive and the hard drive. We're going to start with, there's 6 ports here, and then there's one SATA E1 here, which I'm going to use for the case, because there's a SATA port on the front. So, let's see, how does this go? We're going to connect this here, and I'm using a right angle cord here because the graphics card is going to be right here. Not going to be much conflict there, but I have 2 of these SATA 6 gigabytes per second cords, so I'm going to use them for the hard drive and the DVD drive. And one of them has a right angle to them. And put the other one right here. Snap that in. Okay. Now I'm going to tuck these behind, or at least the top. Yeah, I'll tuck them both behind actually. But I'm going to make my DVD drive the number 1 SATA connector here. So that's the top one. But there's 6 connectors here, and 2 per red piece here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but the connectors are red, and they're stacked. So there's 2 here, there's 2 here, there's 2 here, and they're numbered. Top one is 1, bottom one is 3, and then 2, 4, and 5, 6. So we're going to put this one on the number 1. And this case is a little tight. I didn't think it was going to be tight, but it is. So there we go. Snapped in. That's cord number 1, and we're going to tuck that in a second. Actually, I'm going to get it out of the way right now. There we go. And I'll tuck it back behind in a second. Tuck that a little bit. And spin it. It's a tight fit on this case. Maybe I should have gotten a larger case, but I think I'll live here. There we go. I got it tucked, and I gotta slide this in. There we go. Nice and connected. Now I'm just gonna tuck this on the back end, so that's good there. And I'm going to tuck the DVD cord back behind here. And we have zip ties for a lot of these things, so once everything's all said and done, I can tie everything up nice and tidy on the back end here. But for right now, I'm just going to pull this through. I don't know if you can see it here, but that's the DVD cord. And just kind of pull it through. to make it a little more tidy. And there we go. So those are attached now. We've got the DVD drive and the hard drive attached to the motherboard. Just make sure all the connections are nice and snug. Okay. Now, the other thing on my case here, I have on the front of the bezel here, I have a SATA port. I'm going to try this SATA E1 port here. I could put it in one of the other ones, but I've heard online that you might want to use this dedicated port here, the SATA E1, for the front of the case. And there we go. That's that. I will push that through and tuck that one too, so it gets out of my way. And allows for maximum airflow in here. Now I do have to attach some other things from the front of the case, the power button, the reset button, some LEDs and things like that, but we'll get to that in a bit. Right now the main priority is to attach the power supply to the hard drive and the DVD drive, and then attach the power supply also to the graphics card and install that. So basically all the major components will be powered up. Then we're going to have to work on attaching the fans, attaching these cords here, these cables. There's an expansion slot on the back I'm going to do, which has, I think, FireWire and USB. We're going to do that, and then of course we have to put the liquid cooling heat sink on the processor. So those are the things that we need to do still, but I just want to wrap this up so I can pretty much get everything in and ready to go. So let's attach the power to our two drives here. And in order to do that, we're going to use this SATA connector that came with the power supply.